The 1990s were a decade of bold innovation and groundbreaking technology. Not every invention was destined for success. From quirky gadgets to ambitious tech, these 17 products promised to revolutionize our world only to fail spectacularly. Join us as we explore the most spectacular tech disasters that captured our imaginations but ultimately fell short, proving that even the biggest companies can get it completely wrong. Launched in 1993, Apple's Newton MessagePad represented a revolutionary vision of mobile computing before smartphones existed. Conceived during John Sculley's tenure at Apple, the device aimed to create a truly personal digital assistant that could understand handwritten input and replace traditional computing methods. The Newton's most ambitious feature was its handwriting recognition technology, which promised to translate natural handwriting into typed text. However, the system frequently mangled user inputs, turning simple words into comical gibberish. Steve Jobs famously mocked the device, calling it a piece of junk due to its unreliable text conversion. Priced at $700, the MessagePad combined cutting-edge technology with frustrating limitations. Despite its failure, the Newton's innovative concepts would later influence smartphone and tablet design. The Newton's handwriting struggled, but what about capturing digital moments? Apple's photography experiment is next. Released in 1994, Apple's QuickTake 100 was one of the first consumer digital cameras, co-developed with Kodak to bring digital photography to everyday users. The device captured just 8 photos at 640 by 480 resolution and stored them in internal memory with no preview screen. Users had to shoot photos completely blind, then connect the camera to their Mac via serial cable to view results. This workflow was cumbersome and unpredictable, making every photo a gamble. The camera only worked with Macintosh computers, severely limiting its potential market. Priced at $749, the QuickTake was expensive for its limited capabilities. Poor image quality, tiny storage capacity, and lack of expandability made it hard to justify. Apple discontinued the line by 1997, but the QuickTake helped establish the foundation for the digital camera revolution that followed. But if Apple struggled with cameras, Nintendo's 3D gaming experiment was about to give players literal headaches. In 1995, Nintendo released the Virtual Boy, promising immersive 3D gaming unlike anything players had experienced. Designed by Gunpei Yokoi, creator of the Game Boy, the system used dual red LED displays to create stereoscopic 3D effects without expensive color screens. The reality was a nightmare. Players had to hunch over a table-mounted visor, peering into red monochrome displays that caused instant headaches and eye strain. The system was completely immobile, contradicting Nintendo's portable gaming expertise. Games looked more like wireframe graphics than immersive experiences. Despite Nintendo's marketing push and $180 price point, the Virtual Boy sold fewer than 800,000 units worldwide. It was discontinued within a year, becoming one of Nintendo's most infamous failures and a cautionary tale about prioritizing technology over user comfort. If these tech disasters are blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started exploring the wildest failed innovations of the 1990s. The Virtual Boy left gamers woozy, but Commodore thought they could blend computing with entertainment. Launched in 1991, the Commodore CDTV attempted to revolutionize home entertainment by hiding powerful Amiga 500 computer hardware inside a sleek CD player-style case. The device could run interactive software, play audio CDs, and deliver multimedia experiences via CD-ROM technology. Commodore marketed it as the future of home entertainment, targeting families who wanted computing power without the complexity of traditional computers. The CDTV promised to bring interactive education, games, and multimedia to the living room in an approachable package. However, the device suffered from a severe identity crisis, priced at $999. Consumers couldn't determine if it was a computer, game, console, or CD player. Software was scarce, and essential peripherals like keyboards cost extra. By 1993, Commodore quietly discontinued the CDTV, leaving it as an ambitious but failed experiment in convergence technology. While Commodore confused consumers, Microsoft tried to make computing friendlier with cartoon characters. Microsoft Bob, launched in 1995, represented an ambitious attempt to make personal computing accessible to technophobic users. The software replaced Windows' traditional desktop with cartoon-style virtual rooms populated by animated assistants, including the infamous talking dog named Rover. Developed under the guidance of Melinda French, later Gates, Bob aimed to eliminate intimidating computer interfaces by creating a friendly, home-like environment. Users could click on virtual objects to access programs, with animated characters providing helpful guidance throughout their computing experience. The execution was disastrous. Users found the interface patronizing and slower than traditional Windows. Bob required significant system resources for what amounted to digital clip art, causing performance issues on typical 1990s PCs. Despite Bill Gates' backing, Bob was discontinued within a year, becoming a legendary punchline in tech history and proving that simplification can sometimes complicate everything. After cartoon interfaces, Apple tried targeting students with a translucent educational device. The Apple eMate 300, launched in 1997, was Apple's education-focused spin on the Newton PDA technology, housed in a distinctive translucent green clamshell design that would later influence the iMac and iBook aesthetics. It combined Newton's handwriting recognition with a traditional keyboard, designed specifically for classroom use. The eMate offered impressive durability and a remarkable 28-hour battery life. Its rugged construction could withstand student abuse. While the Newton OS provided note-taking, word processing, and educational software capabilities at an affordable $800 price point, however, the eMate inherited Newton's fundamental problems: slow performance, limited software library, and unreliable handwriting recognition. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple, he immediately axed the entire Newton product line, ending the eMate after just 1 year. Today, it's a cult favorite among collectors and a fascinating glimpse into Apple's design evolution. Apple's educational experiment ended quickly, but General Magic thought they could create the ultimate smart device. Released in 1994, General Magic's Magic Link represented one of the earliest attempts to create a truly smart personal communicator. Founded by former Apple engineers, the company envisioned a device that could handle email, faxing, and online services through a touchscreen interface years before smartphones existed. The Magic Link featured revolutionary concepts like wireless communication, touchscreen navigation, and internet connectivity. It could send emails, manage calendars, and access primitive online services, essentially functioning as a proto-smartphone for business professionals seeking portable connectivity. However, the device was fatally flawed in execution. Its metaphor-heavy interface confused users, requiring extensive learning curves for basic tasks. Weighing over a pound with battery life measured in hours, the $1,000 price tag made it accessible only to wealthy early adopters. In 1996, Apple ventured into gaming with the Pippin, a multimedia console developed in partnership with Japanese toy company Bandai. Marketed as an affordable computer for the living room, the device promised to bring Macintosh computing power to home entertainment. The Pippin ran a stripped-down version of Mac OS and could play games, browse primitive internet services, and run educational software. Apple positioned it as a bridge between computers and game consoles, targeting families who wanted computing capabilities without desktop complexity. Priced around $600, the Pippin was far from affordable compared to established gaming consoles. Its limited game library, weak performance, and lack of third-party developer support made it irrelevant against PlayStation and Nintendo 64. Fewer than 50,000 units sold worldwide before Apple abandoned the project, making it one of the company's most forgotten failures and a reminder that brand recognition can't save poorly conceived products. If you're enjoying these tech disasters, hit that subscribe button. We're about to explore a console that costs more than 3 regular consoles combined. Launched in 1993, the 3DO interactive multiplayer represented a bold vision of next-generation gaming, developed by Trip Hawkins, who previously founded Electronic Arts. The console promised cutting-edge 32-bit graphics and full-motion video that would revolutionize interactive entertainment. Its technological specifications were genuinely impressive: CD-based media, advanced graphics capabilities, and multimedia features that seemed light years ahead of competitors like Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. The system could deliver arcade-quality games and interactive movies that showcased the future of home entertainment. However, its $699 launch price was fatal, more than triple the cost of existing consoles. Limited third-party developer support meant a sparse game library despite standout titles like Road Rash and Gex. Facing stiff competition from Sony's PlayStation and Sega Saturn, the 3DO became a cautionary tale of innovation without market understanding, proving that cutting-edge technology means nothing without accessible pricing. While 3DO priced itself out of gaming, Sony tried revolutionizing portable audio. Introduced in 1992, Sony's MiniDisc format promised to revolutionize portable audio by combining the best features of CDs and cassette tapes. The technology offered near-CD quality sound, unlimited re-recording, and skip-free playback that seemed perfect for active lifestyles. In Japan, MiniDisc found devoted followers among audio enthusiasts and professionals who appreciated its recording flexibility. The format allowed users to record, edit, and organize music in ways previous technologies couldn't. Globally, however, MiniDisc struggled against established formats. CDs dominated with lower prices, while emerging CDs technology and MP3 players ultimately rendered the format obsolete. Despite being technically superior, expensive players and limited compatibility prevented widespread adoption, leaving MiniDisc as an innovative but commercially unsuccessful technology. These forgotten tech failures are proof that innovation is a wild ride. Subscribe to Vintage America Tales to keep uncovering the most incredible tech stories that time forgot. While Sony's audio format struggled, Atari made bold claims about gaming supremacy. Released in 1993, the Atari Jaguar was marketed as the world's first 64-bit gaming console, though this claim was more marketing genius than technical accuracy. The system combined multiple 32-bit processors with 16-bit components, creating a complex architecture that Atari promoted as revolutionary gaming technology. Atari's aggressive marketing campaign challenged competitors directly, asking consumers to do the math while comparing the Jaguar's supposed 64-bit power against rival systems. The company positioned itself as the technological leader in next-generation gaming. However, the complex architecture made game development notoriously difficult, leading many titles to underperform. Priced at $249, the Jaguar was quickly outclassed by PlayStation and Sega Saturn, leading to its discontinuation by 1996 and ending Atari's console ambitions forever. Atari's gaming dreams died, but Palm was about to revolutionize personal organization. Released in 1996, the Palm Pilot 1000 revolutionized personal organization by offering a pocket-sized digital assistant that actually worked. Unlike previous PDAs, the Pilot featured an intuitive interface and reliable graffiti handwriting recognition. The device succeeded by focusing on core functions, calendar, address book, to-do lists, and note-taking. Its simple interface and week-long battery life made it indispensable for business users seeking portable organization. Palm sold over 1 million units, defining the PDA category and proving handheld computing could be profitable. However, as mobile phones evolved to include similar features, standalone PDAs became obsolete. The Palm Pilot ultimately inspired the smartphone revolution that would replace it. The Palm Pilot was practical and successful, unlike the wildly popular but ultimately doomed digital pet craze. Released in 1996, the Tamagotchi became a global phenomenon that captured children's imaginations worldwide. This pocket-sized digital pet required constant care to survive and evolve through various life stages. Its simple LCD screen displayed a pixelated creature that users developed emotional attachments to. Frequent beeping made it addictive and disruptive, leading to classroom bans as users obsessively tended to their digital companions. Tamagotchi sold millions of units globally, defining the digital pet genre. However, repetitive gameplay led to quick burnout in Western markets, fading as more sophisticated gaming options emerged. Be honest, how many Tamagotchis did you accidentally kill by forgetting to feed them? Share your digital pet fail stories in the comments. Digital pets had their moment, but bringing the internet to TV proved even more challenging. Launched in 1996, WebTV aimed to bring web browsing to television screens without requiring expensive computers. Developed by WebTV Networks and acquired by Microsoft, the system used a set-top box to transform TVs into internet terminals. The concept seemed revolutionary for families who couldn't afford computers. WebTV promised email and web browsing through television interfaces. However, dial-up speeds created painfully slow browsing experiences. The clunky interface was designed for low-resolution TV screens. As PCs became more affordable, WebTV's limitations became obvious. Microsoft discontinued it in 2013. WebTV's slow speeds frustrated users, but Sony's wearable video experiment had different problems. Released in 1997, Sony's Glasstron PLM-50 pioneered wearable video technology with twin LCD screens mounted inside a visor-like headset. Marketed as a personal theater system, it promised immersive movie and gaming experiences that could replace traditional televisions. The concept appealed to tech enthusiasts who envisioned personal displays eliminating bulky TVs. Sony promoted it as cutting-edge technology, offering privacy and portability impossible with conventional screens. However, low-resolution displays, narrow field of view, and uncomfortable design made viewing unpleasant. The $1,000 plus price tag, limited adoption, and lack of compelling content failed to justify the investment. Despite its failure, the Glasstron helped establish the foundation for modern VR and AR headsets. Sony's headset promised immersion but delivered discomfort, while Philips tried juggling multiple entertainment roles. The Philips CDI Compact Disc Interactive launched in the early 1990s as an ambitious attempt to create the ultimate multimedia entertainment system. Philips envisioned a device that could blend gaming, education, and interactive media into one comprehensive solution. The CDI played interactive CDs combining text, audio, graphics, and video, positioning itself as educational technology for families. Philips invested heavily in developing interactive content that showcased the format's potential. However, the system suffered from a fatal identity crisis. Consumers couldn't determine if it was a game console, educational computer, or media player. High pricing and limited software library failed to attract any market segment. By the mid-1990s, Philips quietly abandoned the format. Philips confused consumers with multiple identities, while Sony tried solving digital photography storage. Sony's Mavica FD, introduced in 1997, represented an innovative approach to digital photography by storing images directly onto standard 3.5-inch floppy disks. At a time when memory cards were expensive and proprietary, using familiar floppy disks seemed like a user-friendly solution for mainstream consumers. The camera offered instant image viewing and easy file transfer, since every computer could read floppy disks. This eliminated the need for special cables, card readers, or expensive memory cards. However, the Mavica's limitations quickly became apparent. Each floppy disk could store only 5 to 10 low-resolution photos, forcing users to carry multiple disks for even short outings. Image quality lagged behind competitors, and as memory card technology advanced rapidly, the Mavica's format became obsolete. Despite its innovative concept, the camera was soon left behind in the digital photography revolution, becoming a quirky footnote in tech history. These 17 products prove that innovation isn't just about having a great idea, it's about executing that idea in a way that actually solves real problems for real people. From Apple's Newton to Sony's MiniDisc, the 1990s were a graveyard of brilliant concepts that were just a few years ahead of their time. But here's the fascinating part. Almost every single one of these failures planted seeds for the technologies we use today. The Newton's handwriting recognition, the Pippin's multimedia dreams, WebTV's internet ambitions, they were all stepping stones to the smartphones, tablets, and streaming devices we now take for granted. What 90s tech gadget do you remember that totally missed the mark? The Tamagotchi that died constantly? The WebTV that crawled slower than dial-up? Share your most memorable tech fail. And if you love diving into the weird, wild world of forgotten America, subscribe to Vintage America Tales, because somebody needs to remember these incredible stories from our past before they're lost to history forever.